time to do an unhaul. Because of the pandemic, I bought a ton of books this year, and now that I'm filming again, I'm hauling those books and I finally need to put them away. And I need space on my shelves for all the ridiculous amounts of books I have. So I decided to do a pass-through of my books to see if there was anything I could get rid of, and of course there were. I have tons of books now that I don't necessarily want to read. This kind of happens for a variety of reasons. I'd say the biggest reason is that when I started BookTube, I honestly didn't know my taste that well. I hadn't really been reading that much since high school, and so I kind of thought my taste was the same as it was in high school, and that's just not the case. In high school, I always went for those kind of like hard-hitting social commentary type of young adult novels, whereas now I'm just kind of over young adult for the most part. I also had a habit of buying a lot of dystopian novels because that's what was coming out at the time that I was reading in high school. And now I'm just not really that into dystopian novels. I don't mind them here or there, but like they're just not my favorite thing to read, especially in young adult form. So over the past couple of years, I've definitely bought more young adult novels than I need. So going through my shelves, that's definitely what I pulled out the most. The second reason I tend to have books that I don't necessarily want to read is because back in the day when I was shopping at Book Outlet, I would always be so close to hitting free shipping, so I would go through the clearance section and, you know, buy one or two books that were $1 each just to get to free shipping, because why spend $5 on shipping when instead I could get books for $1. So you will see a couple of those in this unhaul as well. And then of course there's just the books that I've read and I might have enjoyed them or I might not have, but either way I'm not going to read them again, and so I might as well pass them along to the secondhand store. So with that being said, let's get into the unhaul. So the first thing I might as well talk about here is these two Jan Ivanovich novels. This is the Stephanie Plum series. This series is about a bounty hunter named Stephanie Plum, and she gets into all sort of wacky hijinks. My grandma's the one who introduced me to the series, and so I will continue to read it till the day I die, which at the rate Jan Ivanovich is going, this series might still be going by the time I die. This is number 24 in the series, as well as number 26. I like the series, but not enough to reread the books this late in the game, especially when they're not that good anymore. Another book that I've already read is The Last of August by Brittany Caballero. This is a Sherlock retelling of sorts that takes place in a boarding school. I enjoyed the second book actually a lot more than the first. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I actually like this one quite a bit more. I still don't see myself rereading it though, because this honestly isn't my favorite series, especially when there are other things like Truly Devious and Trouble is a Friend of Mine that I enjoy more. I will say some of these books you are going to see again in my videos because I haven't reviewed these books yet on my channel, so I will be keeping them to review and then I'll be donating them to the secondhand store. The next book is Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. This is about a murder mystery at a magic school. I enjoyed this, but I didn't love it enough to reread it. I would recommend it if that at all sounds interesting to you. Next book is A Semi-Definitive List of Worst Nightmares by Crystal Sutherland. This was a YA novel about a girl who's trying to get over her fear of dying, I believe. Her whole family has a curse put on them that they're going to die by their worst fear, and so she's trying to get over that with the help of a love interest. And like, this is kind of one of those types of books that made me realize that I'm just not that interested in YA anymore. I didn't hate it. It was a perfectly fine book. It's not my thing now. The next book is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Mackenzie Lee obviously got in some hot water this year, and I personally bought this book when I first started BookTube, and I've just realized that I'm not that interested in it regardless, so this kind of gave me the extra push I needed to get rid of it. 4321 by Courtney Stevens. This is another instance of a YA book I read, I enjoyed, but I didn't love it enough to want to reread it. I didn't even love it enough to really recommend it because I just didn't really connect with it at all, because I'm an adult now and I don't really connect with these things anymore. That's not to say that other people can't. I know lots of adults who do read YA and they still love it, and that's fine. I just don't. Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I don't even know how this ended up in my collection. I keep telling myself I'm never gonna read Stephen King again, and then like a movie comes out and people start talking about his work again, and I'm like, well, maybe that one will be the exception and I'll love it. But no, no, I can't do this to myself anymore. I'm getting rid of it. That way I will not be tempted to read it and hate it. Turn the Key by Ruth Ware. I read this. I really did not like it. I don't understand the hype whatsoever for this book. I just did not enjoy my experience at all, and I'm getting rid of it. Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. This was a Scooby-Doo retelling. I enjoyed this a lot more than a lot of people did. It was kind of messy. I feel like it could have used another pass-over or something to kind of like straighten out the timeline and make a little more sense of what was happening, but I enjoyed it enough, but not enough to reread it. The Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson. I read the first book in the series. I didn't enjoy it, but this one sounded so much more interesting that I always thought I was going to read it anyways, but I actually decided this year to read the graphic novels versions, which I really enjoyed, but now I know what happens in this book and I don't need to read it. Also, it's a mother chunker and no, I'm not reading this, so glad to get rid of it. This is another one of those instances where like the secondary character is more interesting than the main character, so you just wonder why the series wasn't about her to begin with. So anyways, passing it along. The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, which we know is a pen name for J.K. Rowling. I'm just done with J.K. Rowling shit. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want anything of hers on my shelves anymore. I don't want to think about her ever again. The same can be said for this copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I got this for free at the secondhand store, and seeing her name just like physically makes me angry at this point, so I just don't want to think about her. I don't have the same nostalgic connection that so many people do with Harry Potter. I watched all the movies I watched all the movies in theaters as they were coming out. I read the first 3 books when I was a kid, but I never like reread them religiously or like really connected with that world. So for me, it's pretty easy to let go of this world and be okay with it. Now, the rest of these books are all books I kind of picked out on my shelves today when looking through, and some of them I am thinking about doing a try a chapter tag or something just to see if maybe I would be interested in them still, or I was thinking of maybe picking some of them up on audiobook if they're available at my library. So yeah, I'll go through these quickly. If any of these are like amazing, definitely tell me in the comments, and then maybe I'll keep those and try them out. But the first one is Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. I've seen a lot of bad reviews of this, and that's what kind of led me to realize that maybe I don't need it. Especially because I have so many domestic thrillers of the same vein that hopefully are better than this. This seems to be about a bunch of suburban white women who blackmail each other with secrets, which even being white I still can't connect to, so. And there's Forsaken by Lisa M. Strass. This seems to be a type of one of those dystopian novels where all the kids get like sent away to live by themselves but like together with the other kids, and you know, Lord of the Flies situation or something. I don't really know. But, you know, and they're all against the government because the government's the one who like knocked them down and pushed them around. I don't know. I think I just started singing some weird song. But anyway, I'm just not interested in this anymore unless it's amazing, so. Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. This is one of the ones I feel like I'm a little bit more interested in, but once again, I haven't heard the best reviews. The synopsis is kind of vague, but I think this has to do with a group of girls who had something to do with fandom and like decided to start living in this imaginary world or something. And then I think one of them died or they killed one of them. I'm not really sure. I have mentioned that that is the sort of premise that I usually enjoy, so this one I think is the most likely one to be saved. Five Midnights by Anne de Villa Cardinal. This has something to do with murders in Puerto Rico. But once again, this sounded really interesting to me because I like crime novels, I like horror stuff, but I've heard really bad reviews, and I think this is also a series, which I didn't know going into it. I thought it was just a standalone, and it's young adult, and I'm just not as interested in it as I once was. The Dark Deep by Ali Condi and Brendan Reich. Sorry. This is one of those ones I picked up for $1 off Book Outlet for free shipping. This seems to have something to do with kids going on an adventure and finding and awakening some sort of ancient entity, which if this was an adult novel, that would interest the crap out of me, but honestly, it almost looks like middle grade, which definitely isn't my thing. A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. This is another instance of books I bought for $1 to get free shipping. So this has to do with two sisters who get stranded on a beach and have to survive, and they're trapped with this boy, and I'm guessing there's some sort of love story. And honestly, I think that's what puts me off the most from YA, is no matter what the YA is about, there's always this really forced love story that I just don't give a crap about. So yeah. Next book is House of Furies by Madeline Rue. I think this was another instance of a book I bought for free shipping, but I might be wrong about that one because honestly, this does look like something I would pick up anyway. This is another one that I feel like is more likely that if I hear good things, I would keep it. This does have like really pretty pages in it too, so I might keep those, you know. And I do like the spine, so I might keep this. This has something to do with the mysterious boarding house that she ends up with after fleeing boarding school, and then there's another love interest that I don't give a crap about showing up, and they're trying to make it out alive, I'm guessing. It is a series, so once again, that's another reason why I might not pick it up, because I'm not really that into series. I have a hard time finishing them. But I do like the idea that it's like a gothic horror, so we'll see. The Vigilante Poets of Sulan Academy by Kate Hedimer. This has to do with a reality show in a TV school? This has to do with a reality TV show in a high school, and it sounds like quirky and funny, but like, once again, it's just, I'm gonna find that annoying. I have the first two books in whatever this series is called. The Flame Never Dies and The Stars Never Rise by Rachel Vincent. These are two that I might try and find on audiobook in my library. This has something to do with exorcism and demons and stuff, and like, that's totally up my alley, so I do wish it wasn't YA. But yeah, I might try and see if the audiobooks are decent, because this does still somewhat interest me. Then we have The Place Between Breaths by Ann Na. I love this cover, and that's mostly why I picked it up, and obviously that's a dumb decision. Don't do that. This is definitely something I would have read when I was in high school. It's about a girl in high school who has mental illness or is dealing with mental illness and trying not to turn into her mother. Hey, chill. I might try and find this one on audiobook too, but like, it would be a quick read. It's only like, can you chill? This might be handy to save for a readathon, but like I said, like, I'm just never gonna get around to it. I shouldn't do that. And then the last book in this Unhaul is The Chaos of Now by Erin Jade Lang. Also something I bought from Book Outlet for free shipping. This has something to do with a vigilante hacker in high school, and I'm not gonna lie, hackers in high school are things I don't want in a sentence together. It's always really cringy. So I will definitely be passing this one on. So I will definitely be passing this one along as well. And those are all the books I'm unhauling. That was at least probably 30 bucks, so I have a good chunk of room on my bookshelves now that will be taken up immediately, which is unfortunate, but you know, that's how it goes. Let me know if any of these books are actually worth reading. But if not, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back in soon. Bye.